Hello world, welcome back to Accelerate and welcome to Tyler's Mk7 Golf GTi.
Yeah, now the Golf GTi is regarded as one of the best hot hatches ever.
And some regard as the original. Now we've got a great example here, so we want to find out if it is still great. And as a bonus, we want to show that with a simple mods on these platforms, you can get an epic amount of power. The original Volkswagen Golf has been with us since 1974, with the Performance GTi model being released in 1976. Yep, that's right, the GTi is 48 years old. Fast forward 37 years from the original Golf GTi and we arrive at this, the Mk7. The Mk7 GTi came from the factory with a very respectful 220 brake horsepower and 350 Newton meters of torque. This came from a 2-litre turbo 4-cylinder engine. 0 to 60 mile an hour was dealt with in just 6.5 seconds and you'll continue on to a top speed of 155 miles an hour.
Tyler's Golf GTi has actually got a performance pack on it, which includes the bigger Golf R front brakes. It actually comes with an LSD, which is really cool as well, and about 10 brake horsepower more than standard. Now, the thing that we really like about the GTi and which makes it stand out, which you don't usually get from VAG stuff because they're usually a little bit boring, is this red stripe that goes all the way through the front end. Now, I think that just really makes it stand out a lot more, and you know that GTi is coming on the road. GTi pack, obviously nice big front bumper, along with the nice little side skirt trims, the little boot spoiler on the back, and it just makes it, that little hot hatch, a little hotter. So being a Golf, obviously you've got the practicality when you unlock it. You do get the practicality of a 380 litre boot space. Now, that is a benefit over the Golf R, which only has 343.
Climbing into the Golf's interior, as you would expect, is a very pleasant place to be. As we know, the Germans do things very well. They're never the most exciting, but let's be fair, when you're buying a car like this, you want it to work and you want it to be practical. But the thing I love is they do have a sense of humour when they need to. They've actually carried on the original Mark 1 plaid onto the Mk7, which I think is a lovely touch. Speaking of which, comfort-wise, they are heavily bolstered, but in the nicest way possible. You could do a long trip in these without any issue at all. But if you do take it on track, which I believe the owner Tyler does, they do perform very well. We have the beautifully optioned flat bottom steering wheel for the GTi, more buttons than you can throw a stick at. It has got radar guided cruise control, along with your standard audio controls on the steering wheel, volume and track select. You do have the trip computer and everything you need on the dash is controlled by the steering wheel as well. This being the DSG model, you do have the flappy paddles just behind as well, with a very satisfying click, I must say. One thing that did surprise me on these very serious cars is they do have a lap timer. Now on the GTi, that is surprising. On the more race-focused Golf R, you'd expect it, but on the Golf GTi, that was a pleasant surprise for Kenny and myself. The infotainment system is very modern. It does house things like Park Pilot, which was a surprise for me, that aids parking. It's got sensors front and rear. It does have your standard sat-nav, which does work very well. There seems to be a thing that VAG do very well. It's full DAB radio with Bluetooth, basically everything you'd expect from a modern car, just housed in a beautiful Volkswagen package. All your standard features, you've got auto lights, auto wipers, and speaking of practicality, let's jump in the back. One thing Kenny and I discussed at length on the way to the shoot is the Golf always seems to be the perfect all-rounder amongst its rivals. You've got things like the Megane RS that may be a little bit too hardcore, or your BMW 135 may be a bit too twitchy at speed if you're trying to convince your other half to get a performance practical car. Now with that, I am sat in the back here of what I consider a full-grown adult, of where I would have the front seat, and I've got plenty of knee room here. Back seats are very comfy. You've got your center armrest with the adjustable cup holders, really like that. And even so, you've got your ski hatch if you are planning those beautiful trips to the Alps. In the rear, we've also got the ventilation coming into the back, which is a nice feature, particularly on long journeys. The plaid design is carried onto the rear, which I think is always a nice touch for cars like this. You've got your standard electric windows in the back, and yes, you've got your scratchy plastics, but the thing I love about Volkswagen, they do finish it off with some really nice touches. And other half, if you need any more convincing, they do have an NCAP 5 rating, which is the highest safety rating you can get. So now the other half is convinced. Let's do what every guy wants to see on the GTi. Let's get it out on the road. We've said it many times before, if you jump in a VAG car or a Volkswagen Audi Group, you pretty much know what you're going to expect, but that is not a bad thing at all. The thing I love about this, when you have got the leather-wrapped steering wheel with the flat bottom, this seems to be an iconic thing now for the VAG cars.
It does,
and I'm a big fan of it.
Yep.
But you feel these seats are so supportive and comfortable at the same time. So what we're going to do now is hit the road in your normal eco mode. If I remember to put the electric handbrake off.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Just to see how the DSG box responds, because I am getting old. I have always said I prefer a good old-fashioned torque converter, because low down DSGs can be a bit jerky in traffic, but you cannot deny that we've changed like 3 times.
I know.
You cannot feel the gear
Seamless,
changes.
isn't it? Totally seamless.
And it barely goes above, like I said, we're in like sort of the eco mode now, it barely goes over 2000 RPM. I cannot hear the engine. The road noise is absolute. For a sport, we've got to remember now, this is a Golf. It is a hot hatch. This is their sporty one. You would not know. Like, I've driven a diesel Golf as well. Dare I say, the road noise, the NVH is about the same.
Had this running just now when I was talking to Tyler, and I said to him, "Is it running?"
Genuinely,
it's that quiet.
Yeah, you do not hear it. These are not the nicest of roads. I think it's soaking up the boats. The bumps. Nice.
Considering it's lowered as well, you know, it's definitely helping.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's on H&R Springs, 30 mil.
Well, speaking of which, we did state in this video, something we want to show, and another reason this platform, or any VAG car, is so popular on the car scene. They're a fantastic car out of the box, but the tuning capabilities on these things are unbelievable. And what Tyler's done to this is quite simple, dare I say, but if you want to give them mods.
Well, it is. It's just bolt-ons. It's got an RTEC intake pipe and turbo elbow, race inline panel filter, just a panel filter, hence the way we haven't got all induction noise, I suppose.
Yeah.
An RTEC ECU and TCU tune. It's 320 horsepower and 377 foot-pound of torque.
So Tyler's gained an extra 100 horsepower from the factory, just from, again, what I would consider basic mods. And I think, as much as it pains me to say, what the VAG community would consider, I believe, a stage 1 tune. I don't agree with that, but I know a lot of people deal with that, and I think that's what so for a stage 1.
Yeah, it simplifies it, doesn't it? That's why everyone says it. Brakes wise, it's got VBT J-hook 320mm discs, EBC yellow stuff pads, RBF 600 brake fluid, and braided lines. Obviously, you got the wheels, OEM LSD. It's got a resonator delete actually as well.
Oh, okay. It did sound a bit fruitier than a normal one. Great thing is with the DSG, you do have the option of, you can flick it up and down through the gears using the gear stick, but what I prefer, because we differ on this.
We do.
I enjoy, if you're having a car like this, I prefer doing it off the... Oh my God!
Wow!
That was spinning up through second.
I was so busy watching the clocks now then.
It cut me off. Oh my God!
This thing goes. Whoa!
Oh my God!
This is a flying machine, dude.
Considering this is not the Golf R, this is a GTI. Oh my God!
Wow! Man, this surprised me. Really, really surprised me.
I had everything I wanted to say then. That literally cut me off, and I am a bit shocked. I'm not going to lie.
I was so fixated on I was just like, what the hell are the clocks doing? Oh.
Okay.
This thing is nuts.
I don't know what the... Oh, okay, I was going to say the handling might be a bit off because of the... Oh my God!
You feel the back end step out?
That's the difference between this and the Golf R.
Yeah.
The dangerous thing is, man, it gives you some confidence.
I was just going to say.
This is so stable.
You can still feel that back end just giving it a little bit, can't I? I think it's tires mainly.
Yeah, but it's like I don't feel... I'm aware that you're not the best passenger, so I'm not.
Although I feel fine.
Really?
This car, you can just feel everything it's doing, and
yeah, and you're the passenger.
From a passenger
oh
seat.
My God! But I'm like,
I've said I know I've grabbed the grab handle, but that's just purely because I'm getting thrown around in the seat. But whoa, this thing's insane.
Oh my God!
I can't wait to try. Get out of the seat. Let me have a go.
We've driven fast cars, we've driven slow cars. I was expecting this to be one of those cars where you're like, oh yeah, we can throw it around there. Like my adrenaline is pumping. The fact that a Golf R we've driven up here grips and goes, they are so impressive. This has got that perfect amount of drama,
Do you know what? I was going to say, the way you can feel the back end moving around in it adds to the driving experience.
Oh my God, I am so surprised with this car. I went for the clutch then. So it started spinning from first and second. You think, oh, that's entertaining. But then I thought, well, when we get to some corners, that's going to be an issue.
It didn't.
But I wanted to go more. I could feel the back end, but at no point did I feel out of control. And I'm like, this is fun. I don't care how fast I was going.
No, I was looking at that and I was like, whoa, this is quick.
I was looking at every time I looked down, it was on the limit.
So I said, as a passenger, as you know, I'm usually quite nervous, but
yeah.
I was fine. I know I grabbed the grab rail, but...
It makes me a bit nervous first.
Whoa!
Oh my God, it is quick! I just looked at the speedo.
That's what I was saying to you, man. I was watching the speedo, like, we got to do a draggy on this.
Yes, because that... Okay, it might not be the best, because the traction from a launch is not the greatest, but crikey, when it hooks,
yes.
That speedo goes almost as quick as the rev counter.
That's what I thought it was at first.
And I want to state, we've driven 1,000 brake Evo up here, we've driven Scoobies, so we know a fast car.
Yep.
But for what this is, this thing is quick.
Dude, this is quite a big claim, but do you know, coming up through here, I don't think there's much that would sit with this.
No, because...
I really don't. That we've driven, most things you have to back off.
That's what I was trying to get into words.
Yeah, this you don't have to back off. You can literally keep that foot to the floor, just bang up and down the gears. Which
is mind-blowing, because you do get a bit of wheel spin. The back end does step a little bit.
It does, but
it almost encourages you to be naughty.
Right, I'm just going to nail it from the start, because... Oh,
jeez.
Look at that speedo, man.
Wow, oh my God.
Dude, this thing.
You see the cornering?
It's so responsive on steering. But I was doing a bit of research and it said something about the steering actually quickens up the quicker you go.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, it does not give off.
Torque, man.
Well, we were just saying, it's 320 horsepower these days. Doesn't seem a lot. To me, it's still a lot. So you look at these newer cars and you think, I used to think these are big heavy cars, they're going to be boring because of what you said, all the safety and stuff like that. They're actually about 1295 kilos. 320 horsepower with 1295 kilos with that amount of torque. What did you say the torque was?
377 foot-pound.
That makes this car so lively.
Meters, isn't it? So
yeah.
I got to be honest, we were just saying off camera, weren't we? We always, when we come into a VAG car, we always expect it to be quite bland, quite boring. But everyone we do surprises us, and I think we're not giving them enough credit.
Yeah, I've always said I'm not a VAG fan, and I think I was one of those guys that told myself not to like them because they're too good. They're too good car, but everyone that we jump in, I think this has just solidified it now.
It has. I mean, we were blown away like by the Golf R, the TT is just a different level.
The Germans know how to make a car, and I hate to admit, I will be humbled.
You didn't pick up on that one.
What did you say?
I said the TT's a different level. He agrees with me, so yeah. Yeah, I'm getting one. It's spinning. Whoa!
Yeah, of course. Like, see if you can power through a corner. You get the perfect amount of drama.
Oh man, this thing is insane.
Right, any negatives, because we're fanboying. Any negatives that we would...
Any negatives? Yeah.
You got to say that you like a Golf. I don't know. That's anyone I can think of.
Everyone I drive a Golf.
It's got all the toys that you'd want from a modern car.
It's cheap to tax for what it is.
It's cheap to buy for what it is, I would say.
It's cheap to buy for what it is. I imagine the insurance won't be too much because it's not a new car anymore.
Okay, insurance
really
might be...
nice.
But Tyler's quite young and his insurance is okay, I think.
Yeah. So,
right, let us know, guys, if you own one of these.
Yeah, let us know.
Because obviously, if there's any long-term owners, let us know.
Yeah, because I cannot think of anything, to be honest. Hang on a second, it's got a chip in the windscreen.
That was the Mk7 Golf GTi. We set out on this video wondering, is the GTi still great? And from my experience today, I think our laughing and giggling says it all. I understand the GTi hype.
Yeah, no, as we said in the video as well, we don't give VAG stuff enough credit, even though I own two.
Yeah.
And there's a reason I own two. They are good cars.
I owned one, I owned a Seat, I beat the Cupra, I owned it for 2 weeks and got rid of it and went back to a diesel Mondeo. That is how much I didn't like them. Granted, the more modern VAG stuff that we drive, I'll stand humbled and say, I was wrong with that, I used to slate them, but I am smitten with this thing.
I am. Do you mean? And I've always said that, you know, as a daily, there's not much going to be better than this, and this has solidified my opinion on it. And Tyler's right. He did say we'd prefer this to the Golf R. And I know Golf R, people are going to hate.
Let's correct that. Golf R is undoubtedly faster. If you're going for lap times, it will be faster. But if you want that little bit of drama every time you drive and that bit more excitement, because that got my blood pumping, save your money and get a GTi.
Yeah, faster. It's not all about being faster. This is all about having fun. And obviously, this is going to be cheaper to run on a Golf R.
Yep.
Parts going to be cheaper. It's probably cheaper to tax.
Yep.
Insure.
So all you VAG people, I'm sure you'll be pleased to know. I think we've been converted. This I cannot believe. I can't believe how much of an effect this has. So we want to say a massive thank you to Tyler for not only bringing it down to us twice, because yes, he did have a puncture, there was an issue.
Yeah.
So massively appreciate you bringing it back. And as soon as we set off, he said to us, please put your foot down, please get the most out of it. So
yes,
I think we did
we certainly did.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed it.
So once again, thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.
Boom. Right, let's get on auto trader.
I know. God, I gotta buy a Golf.